Welcome back to the Smart Money Blueprint, Volume 1. In this module, we're talking about the power of relationships with your private money lender. My name's Adonis Lockett, and we're about to go through why relationships are king when you are in the real estate investing business. In this module, I'm going to discuss why relationships are the most important thing in a transaction. I'm going to discuss the incentives that come with a consistent relationship with your private money or hard money lender. I'm going to tell you why the relationship must mutually be beneficial. I'm going to discuss how to get special pricing, leverage, and consideration when dealing with your private money lender, how to foster growth and ultimately drive scale, and then ultimately understand the roles in the relationship. So let's jump right in, because I'm gonna tell you right now, for the rest of this education series, you're gonna hear me harp on the importance of relationships being literally the only thing that'll keep you in business. All right, this is me getting busy on this one. Real estate industry is a relationship-based industry. Trust me when I tell you, if you're new to the business or you've survived in the business trying to squeeze every dollar out of everyone and not creating a relationship, your tenure in the real estate investing business is finite. For those of you who don't know, finite means limited or have some short runway until you reach the end of the line. The next point I want to highlight is relationships are king, period. A relationship allows you to close a deal in half the time versus the first time relationship with your private money lender. Let me explain what that means. When you close a deal for the first time with a lender, they go through all of the discovery about who you are, your experience, your credit, your financials, blah, 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 right? The second time, the third time, the fourth time, you notice not only does the underwriting get easier, the process or the turn time to close the deal gets shorter. The underwriting easier. The whole process is just much simpler because the lender knows everything about you or everything they want to know about you. So now when the next deal comes, it becomes kind of a 1-2 punch. Oh, this is borrower A, stamp of approval, move on to the next one. So having a relationship with a lender that actually you create a repeat relationship with will not only foster expedition in your close time, but you'll actually see them start incentivizing you to continue to bring in business by maybe offering discounts on your pricing. And with that said, yes, you can secure special pricing with a lender once you create a relationship. You may find that you're getting a better interest rate, better origination fees, better leverage. So the relationship you have with your lender may ultimately give you a much better loan than if you go and have 5 loans that you go with 5 different lenders with. Relationships are king in the private lending sector because the more the lender knows about what you're doing, the more comfortable they are about loaning you money, the easier they want to make getting money from them to be. And not only that, the more they want to keep your business coming into their doors, which now ultimately will have them incentivizing you. Now, when a private money lender or hard money lender knows that you're doing volume, you may find that you can get exceptions and additional incentives for you bringing in repeat business or performing at a high level. And again, that includes discount and origination, lower interest rates. You'll see that when your file comes in Monday, you get bumped to the top of the pile and your file may be approved by Thursday. So the lender wants to incentivize you to keep bringing business in the door because the lender only gets paid when the deal closed. And if you're a high volume borrower that they know you perform, they want you to bring all that business to them. Now, one thing the relationship, having a real relationship with your lender will allow you to do that cannot be bought is call in favors. Trust me when I tell you, only a relationship allows you to call in a favor that no matter how much origination fee or how high interest you're willing to pay, favors cannot be bought. They can only be fostered. I'm going to repeat that. Favors cannot be bought. They can only be fostered. Fostered by a relationship. So there are certain things that your lender is willing to do with a long-standing relationship. And there are certain things, no matter how much you are willing to pay, that a relationship that existed with a lender, a new relationship they will say no to if it's the exact same thing with a new borrower. The bottom line is that lenders, although it's a big engine or maybe a big machine and there's a whole bunch of people in the corporation, blah, 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 at the end of it, there's still someone that evaluates the relationship you have with them and can make the decision to allow certain things that they would never approve get approved because they want to continue to do business with you. Now, with that said, a relationship must be mutually beneficial. I'm going to stress mutually. If a lender is constantly bending over backwards, closing quickly, giving you discounts on interest, giving you max leverage, giving, and the only thing you're interested is making sure you bottom out the monies that they make, you bottom out the interest they receive, you bleed them out of all the resources, at some point, the relationship is no longer mutually beneficial. When I say mutually beneficial, the lender makes money only when a deal closes. And most lenders make money off of two things: the origination fee and the interest rate. Now, the origination fee, usually the loan officer, processors, or the salespeople will make money off the origination fee. The lending company as a whole will make money off the interest rate. So if you're dealing with a loan officer that works 7 days a week for you, sun up and sun down, and the only thing you're interested in is making sure that you grind them down to the lowest dollar, remember that in an industry where you only get paid commission, you only get paid when the deal is done. If the only thing you do to your loan officer is have them work extensively, but grind them down to every penny, you will find that that loan officer no longer has an interest in working your files late at night, on the weekends, and ultimately at all, because the only thing you're interested in is paying them the absolute least and getting from them the absolute most. You will find that once a loan officer, processor, or a lender as a whole realizes that the give and take doesn't match up, that the relationship is not mutually beneficial, you may find that they may start pulling back. Your lender can also be the best advocate for credibility. Believe it or not, the real estate investing industry is small. For those of you who are in the space, you know this. For those of you getting into the space, I'm going to tell you right now, the real estate investing industry is small. Every borrower, every seller, investor, lender, everyone is one phone call away from validation or invalidation, right? So you must understand that when a lender can advocate for you, you have much more credibility, because the person who is issuing the money, if they stand behind your performance, if the person who is the highest point of risk says that you are the best point of business, anyone that they're talking to usually will take their word as gospel, because the lender has the most to lose in any transaction. Well, what about me as the investor, my credit? Yeah, whatever. You put down 10%, the lender covered 90%. The lender is at the highest risk of every transaction because the lender put up the bulk of the money, right? So if a deal goes left, the lender loses most of the money and you lose a couple dollars, got a little hit on your credit, you recover in 5 years. Some lenders go out of business from a very small handful of foreclosures. So when your lender steps in as the point of the highest risk in the transaction and they advocate for you, that credibility will go a million miles for everyone that they have a relationship with. And 9 times out of 10, when a lender refers you to a resource and they give you that stamp of approval, that resource will handle you with a high degree of care and comfort because you come from a trusted source, a private money lender. Not only does the lender offer credibility, your lender can guide you to growth and ultimate scale. So the stronger relationship you have with the lender, the more they understand what you're doing, you can now start asking your lender, hey, Here's what I'm doing. Here's what I like to do. How do I get there? And you would be surprised at how many times they have helped someone get into the business, grow, and then scale. And they can tell you everything that investor did and everything you should not do that the investor did not do correctly. So that lender may actually be your source to growing and scaling your business, but that only comes with a relationship. And again, as a private money lender, if I know that there's someone shopping me and the only thing they want from me is the lowest dollar, the lowest rate, they always want to just get the lowest out of me, but they want to have me spend my nights and weekends telling them how to scale, my first question to them is, well, if all you want to do is pay me the least and get the most from me, how does it make sense? When I start closing deals and I start understanding what you're doing and what you want to do, that's when it makes sense for me to exude my time. Up until that point, the only thing you're looking to do is have me give. You take, and it does nothing for me. And trust me when I tell you, to do something for me, for you, that is a real thing when you're talking to your loan officer and your lender. You need to be mindful of it. And again, a relationship will allow you to ask your lender for guidance on growth and scale, and they give you every trick of the trade to get there. Now, with that said, the lender does not work for you. They work with you. I had a borrower one time call the office and say, hey, I'm not asking you for your opinion. I'm telling you what I want you to do because you work for me. No, it doesn't work that way. The lender can, for any reason, decide, I don't want to fund your deal. And there is nothing you can do about it. Your lender does not work for you. They work with you. So I want to make this crystal clear. Talk to and treat your lending team with respect. You are not paying them until the deal closes. So up until that deal transacts, your lender does not make a dollar. Your lender is working with you to get a deal funded. You are not paying them or retaining them for a service. They don't work for you, they work with you. And it is important that you keep that in mind, because I will let you know this process is very frustrating at times. Each deal has its own persona and each deal can get stressful, and sometimes the lender may be behind the curve, and sometimes you want to pick up the phone and bark on them. And I will tell you, on being on both sides of it, sometimes it's warranted, but always remember that at any point, your lender can simply just walk away. So it's important that you know that you're paying your lender for a service when the service is rendered. You're not retaining them for a service. And because you're not retaining them for a service, you're paying them at the time of service being rendered. They don't work for you, they work with you. Now to recap, we discussed why relationships are king. And to be honest with you, I feel like I still haven't done this topic justice. I really want you to understand, in the real estate investing industry, relationships are more important than any dollar you will ever make, any dollar you will ever save, and any dollar that you will ever spend. Relationships are king, period. We discuss incentives with a consistent relationship with your lender. We discuss why a relationship must be mutually beneficial. If you're the only one making money and the lender is walking away with table scraps every time, you may see a change in the dynamic. The relationship must be mutually beneficial. If your lender is offering a good service, pay them for the service they offer. We discuss how to get special pricing, leverage increases, and additional consideration. We talked about how to foster growth and scaling by creating a relationship with your lender. And we also discussed the roles that come in the relationship, both from your side and on the side and behalf of the lender. Now, I do want to close this module and say, you will find that as you grow in this business, you're going to start doing business with the same people, the same title companies, insurance companies, buyers, sellers, vendors, tradesmen, lenders. You're going to start doing business. You're going to start doing business no matter how big your business gets. At some point, everything will start overlapping. Relationships will keep you alive in this business. Relationships is key to longevity. I appreciate you joining me. My name is Adonis Lockett. Find me on Instagram and Facebook at Adonis Lockett. If you're watching our YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. You want to talk to a solid lender that understands the power of relationships, contact L&H Capital, www.lnhcapital.com. Shameless plug to L&H Capital. Speak to a lender that understands the power of relationships. Again, you have been great. Looking forward to seeing you in the next module. And remember, from here on out, you're going to hear me talk about how relationships are king. King.